Drive Away Dolls hits theaters this weekend. Has Ethan Cohen lost his touch? Let's find out right now. Alright, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me and my rants about film and television and comics and board games and all that fun stuff. I am your host, Frank Zanka. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer. Looking to get back to work, hopefully, someday. With the Yahtzee strike looming, I don't know. Nobody's working yet. It's crazy. Oh, this industry. But in the meantime, I get to watch some good movies and some not so good movies. So let's find out which one of this one is. But before we do, remember to like and subscribe. I am trying to build the channel, so give me a thumbs up or whatever you like. But if you can subscribe, cling that bell, that would be awesome. And if you want to check out some of the things I've written, of course, I am on Amazon. But also, if you want to get something autographed, I have on the link below. We launched our Lords of LA. It's a comic book, graphic novel about vampires and mobsters and 1950s Hollywood with Marilyn Monroe, etc. Plenty of mature action and blood and guts and everything else. But check out the link below. It's lots of fun and the artwork's pretty good. And again, I will autograph it. All right, and it's not very expensive either. So anyway, check that out. And in the meantime, all right, let's get into the movie Drive Away Dolls. I really didn't know what to expect when I got into this film, and I'll see anything. You know, I just like to go to the movies once a week, no matter what it is. And there was the other one about the angels with Hilary Swank and the guy from Reacher. But I really didn't want to be depressed, and I felt like that was going to depress me. So I kind of wanted something a little bit more fun. And this looked like it was more fun, even though I knew that it probably wasn't made for me. My question about this was, who the hell was even made for? I have no idea. Put it this way, the number of people in my theater, including me, 3 people. There were more people in Aquaman. So this is not going to be a bust-out movie at all. I don't know if it's just because Ethan Cohen can't exist on his own without his brother. But also he teamed up with Trisha Cook here. Trisha Cook is an editor. She is not a writer. She is not really even a producer. She is an editor. That's pretty much everything that she's done has been in editing. Even on the producing side, she's produced 3 shorts. She's done nothing of this caliber. So I have no idea why he brought her in on this to write it and produce it. I'm very confused. I'm confused about a lot of it. It's kind of like The Village that M. Night Shyamalan did. It was a horrible movie. The best thing to come out of that was Bryce Dallas Howard. And that's how I feel about this film. The best thing to come out of this film was Margaret Qualley. She made this film bearable. If it wasn't for her, this would almost be an unwatchable film. If you had a bad actress in, not that any of the actors were bad in here, but the material that they were given is pretty poor, right? And if you look at the Rotten Tomatoes, you can see that it's just above average right now with the critics. And that's because I think a lot of critics are afraid to do anything to slam it because it is an LGBTQ-based film. And believe me, it reminds you at every turn. If you do a drinking game based on the number of times that the word lesbian or the word dyke is used in this film, you will be seriously drunk by the time you are done with the film. The film doesn't stand on its own without the LGBTQ, and that shows you a problem. that the whole identity of the characters and everything else was based on the fact that they were gay. Without that, they don't have identities. And that's a problem. So when you're penning this thing, when you're writing it, and you can only really name one quality of the character, like, okay, put it this way. So Margaret Qualley's character is like more of the male version. Like, whenever there's a couple, a lesbian couple, one kind of leads more to the dominant side and one is more, the regressive side or the passive side. And so she's more leading towards that side. And she reminds me a lot of the character from the L Word, Shane. God, I worked on the L Word, and I forgot the actress, Catherine Moen. Yes, that's it. Who is a great, great person in real life. I mean, she is. We were doing COVID, and she was coming up and shaking everybody's hand and stuff like that. And everybody is like, "No, you can't do that." Anyway, great person, and a great actress as well. But she reminded me of that character. It's almost like she was pulled from that. And so she had to put on an accent because Margaret Qualley is actually Andy McDowell's daughter. And the other thing is, I thought nowadays in Hollywood, if you're not gay, you can't play a gay character. Isn't that what we've pretty much been saying? With the CW and everything else, that you can only play what you are. And both characters, Margaret Qualley, and actually probably all three, and Geraldine Viswanth, I can't even say her name. She's from Cock Blockers. So I have seen her before. And Margaret Qualley has barely done anything. Even in Poor Things, she had no lines. So she was the girl at the end that they changed. And if you saw Poor Things, but she was the one that, since they missed Emma Stone's character, they made another version of her, but she has no lines because at that point in time, she can't speak because she's got a brain of a child. So, but she had to have an accent, a Texan accent throughout the film, and she pulls it. I liked her character a lot, and I liked her performance. I think her performance is what pulled the character. She has a great comedic timing, and I think at some point she had to pull Geraldine along because Geraldine's playing the straight person, so it's an odd couple type film. So that's what it is. So you have odd couple on a road trip, and then they threw in, like the Coen brothers do. They're throwing in the people that are chasing them. Right, and there's a mysterious case, and what's in the case. I'm not going to go through any spoilers because you can't spoil this film anyway. It's impossible to spoil this film. Now, why Pedro Pascal is in this? Why Matt Damon is in this? Miley Cyrus is in this. I have not a clue why they took these roles outside of the fact that they just wanted to. That Ethan pulled a favor. That's the only thing I can think of. Pedro Pascal is in one scene. Well, most of him is only in one scene. Where he only acts in one scene. I'll put it that way. And on top of that, Matt Damon is in a scene and a half. And that's it. And Miley Cyrus, they have these weird psychedelic chapter changes that made zero sense whatsoever. Just zero. And it was just kind of took me out of the movie every time they did it. And Miley Cyrus is in those scenes. I think that the scenes were supposed to be linking that to Matt Damon's character, but it was totally lost on me. It just didn't work. Period. So yeah, so we have. It's not even a raunchy comedy. In some cases, it's not even a comedy. But I don't know. I really don't want to know what to make of this film, and I don't think anybody else will be either. I just think that it's discombobulated. It's kind of all over the place. Ethan Cohen just decided he was good. And I love the Coen brothers. Miller's Crossing is one of my favorite films of all time. I think that is a genius piece of work. Of course, they did Old Country for Old Men there. They did Fargo. I mean, the list goes on and on. These guys were geniuses. And then we get a film like this where it's just like, I'm just throwing up my hands. And I forgot the other guy's name that from Fear the Walking Dead, but I'm a big fan of his. Coleman Domingo. I think he's great. I know he was just in Color Purple too. I didn't see Color Purple, but I know he was in there. And but I've been a fan of him since Walking Dead. And he has a huge amounts of charisma. Whenever he's on the screen, he is captivating. And his voice is just very unique. He would make, I don't know, he probably does voiceover work, but he would make a good voiceover person. Joey Slotnick also did a decent job. But again, these actors weren't given anything of meat. And also Bill Camp. His comedic portion, I think he was probably the funniest person in the thing. He played a character named Curly. And his performance was great. He played a deadpan through the whole thing, and it worked. But this is a movie where you're going to walk out and you're going to forget it even existed. I mean, that's how poor the writing really is, and how there's really no meat on the bone of this film. And it's just a little playful type film, and that's really all you can do with it. So it's just, here's a movie about a couple of lesbians that are trying to find themselves, after some breakups, and Geraldine's character, Marion, I really tried to like, but she just comes off so abrasive through the majority of the film that it makes it very hard for her to like, the audience to like her. Towards the end, she kind of loosens up, but I think at that point it's just kind of too late, So again, the standout is Margaret's character, Jamie. Without that character pulling along the film, not only the character but that performance, there is no film. So, and they try to do a twist, and it just didn't work. I don't know. It's just a lot of it just doesn't work. That's the problem. And I can't understand why Ethan Cohen, with the amount of experience he has, thought this film was going to work. Everyone, when this was over, everybody just kind of walked out. There was everybody, all three of us. There was just no reaction to any of it. It was just, yeah, it was a movie. This happened. And I think a lot of it was like three guys too. So I really wonder if the LGBTQ community is even going to come out and support this film. I would think no. I don't think there's anything here for them. Even though, again, it's just mentioned over and over and over. We're going to a gay bar. Is this hotel LGBTQ sensitive? It was just on and on. We're Democrats. It's just on and on and on. Smack you in the face. I'm like, can we have these girls do something else? Just without going to a gay bar over and over again, can we have them, just do something else that maybe would define them a little bit differently? I don't know. It never happens, of course. We don't ever get another layer to them or a definition to them. We don't get to really meet any of other friends. And that's the other thing. All the men in this film are bad. There are no positive male characters in this entire film. None. Not one. So, it kind of is what it is. I think that if you had maybe added, even a male gay friend, I think that may have changed things too. But again, we get none of it. All we see is lesbians throughout the entire film. and that makes the world very tiny. I think they limited the world that it almost looks like these girls are just in a bubble and they're kind of just living that way. So we really have nothing to root for because they really have nothing to get over because there's nothing, there's no arc. There's no arc at all. And, you know, it's Geraldine is supposed to be in, you know, very reclusive and, you know, she shuts herself off and, you know, I feel Jamie is supposed to bring her out of that. And do I really feel that that happened? I don't think that the character changed at all. I just think they had a closer relationship together, but I don't see that affecting the rest of her life. Yeah, I think I've thought into this too much already. If you go below the surface, you're hitting the bottom of the pool. There's nothing. There's nothing there. There was no thought put into this at all. There was more thought put into the characters by the actors than by the writers, and that's where it was sad. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. I've talked about this film too much. It didn't even deserve this amount of chatting. So let me know what you guys think. And on a scale from 1 to 10, for me it's a 4. It's way below average, and it's just sad. And I think that I'm waiting to see what the audience score is on Rotten Tomatoes. But I can't see if it's higher than the critic score. I'm going to be very, very surprised. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching and spending time with me. Again, let me know what your thoughts are. And on top of that, if you can help support Lords of LA, that's currently on it's on Indiegogo and it's on GoFundMyComic, which is in the link below. Please do so. And then on top of that, because we were already funded on Kickstarter, so it's already going to happen. It's already getting published. I just have about 10 more pages I'd like some help financially with. And because it is longer than I kind of expected it to be. It's actually like going to be almost 50 pages long. But anyway, and also we just changed the name of the card game that Mark Spears and I are working on. We're doing a classic Monsters card game that was originally called Riftstorm, but something just came out recently. I've been working on this game for 3 years, and something just came out with the name of that, so we're changing it to Myth Lords. Let me know what you guys think of that as well. We also have an Oz expansion and stuff like that. It's going to be lots of fun. Anyway, talk to you guys soon. Thank you again for spending time with me. Check out some of my other videos as well. And remember to like and subscribe. Give me the thumbs up. Give me the middle finger. I can take it all. All right? Talk to you later. Bye-bye.